Hi, this is Kelly. Hi, I'm with the Student Organization Business Office, and today I'm going to show you some information on the COOL system, how to do a payment request, and a couple other items. To get to your COOL system, you need to log in through the My Purdue portal, go to Student Life, and then BOSO COOL Online. And once you log in, it's going to drop you on this main page of the COOL system, and it'll show you any accounts that you have access to as president or treasurer. When you are working with paying a bill or reimbursing an individual, make sure you choose the right account you want to work with. If it is a SOGA expense, go from your SOGA account, but in general, you will be working from your main organization account. So you're just going to click on that account, and this will bring you to this next landing page. This gives you some overview information. The storefront URL would be your URL if you had anything out on the e-commerce website. You can supply this URL with your customers, and it'll take them directly to your organization's page. This piece of paper with a pencil up here, you could click edit here, and this will bring you to you can add your logo to your account. This just gives you some more information, your URL, your SAO number, so some information here. But to create a payment request, once you're on this page, you're going to go into the banking account button. Before you really start your payment request, make sure you have all your documentation you need. We need itemized paid receipts if we're reimbursing an individual. We need an itemized invoice if we're paying a vendor directly. You can scan those in, save them on your computer somewhere, just wherever you have them available to grab to attach to your payment request. So this page here is an overview of anything you've done in your payment request. So anything payments and processing are items you have submitted and BOSO is still reviewing, looking at them, anything like that. If it's in the payments tab itself, these payments are completed. This document number here is the actual check number. And this is a way you can also later check. You could go out here and look to see if the payment request you've submitted is completed. If it has a document number on it, you know it's done. If it's out here in your payments tab with no document number, we have BOSO is working on it. It is in the print queue and it would be printed later that day. But to get back to your payment request, you're going to go here to payments and process. This icon here, it looks like a piece of paper with the sun on it, is an add icon throughout the whole system. So you're going to add your payment request. The first thing you need to do is search for your payee. This first search is going to search your organization only to see if you have paid that vendor in the past or not. So you're going to type in their name and you're going to search. If you have, it's going to pop up in here and show that you have, but we have not paid this vendor. So you're going to have to request a new payee. So you're going to add the payee. And again, you have to type their name in here the second time. This search is actually, it searches the whole COOL database. So if your organization has not paid them in the past, but another organization has, you will find them here. So you check that payee, and again, it's going to come up and show you you have it, but since this person has never been paid, you're going to have to request a new payee. When you are doing an address for a new payee, it must be a residential address. It cannot be the office or anything like that. Per Indiana unclaimed funds, BOSO has to have a residential address. That way, if the individual for some reason does not cash that check, we have the proper due diligence to follow up and see if we can find them to get them their funds. So you're going to create their address. Please make sure you check to see if they live in an apartment. We must have that apartment number letter. That is one of the biggest mistakes we get on payee requests. They'll put, you will get an address, and We do look against the United States Postal Service website to make sure if an apartment is needed. And if it is, we will kick it back and request the apartment. So just please double check on that. So you're going to complete this. You have to choose an expense code. This is just a default. So really you can choose about any one of them. So say we're going to pay them because they paid an entry fee. This will not be on every single payment request, but it's just, it creates your payee. Any additional information you have on them, and Purdue email, anything we could use. Like I said, again, if the check doesn't get cashed, any additional information would be very helpful. Once you get the top one filled in, you can just copy it to mail and it will bring it down. If you are sending to a res hall, you can click campus mail. This will not charge your club's postage when we mail that out. Once you have that completed, you're going to click continue. And it just kind of gives you an overview. You can double check, make sure you have everything. And you're going to click save. So now this brings us back to this payment page where now you have your payee in here. If you're actually transferring funds to another student organization within the BOSO, you will click here, transfer to student organization. And in this box here, you're going to get an alphabetical drop-down list of your organizations, and you'll just click it and you can do your internal transfer. The hold for pickup button, if you click that, we will hold your check in the office for you to pick up. President, treasurer, advisor, or the individual that the check is made payable to can pick up that check. If that is not checked, we're going to automatically mail the check out to the individual. Your check memo here, this is anything that's going to go on the main line of your check. Especially if you're paying vendors, we recommend you put your invoice number, your customer number, whatever that identification information is to make sure your payment is posted to your account. This is stuff that BOSO reviews and audits when we're looking at payment requests. So if you do forget it or not real sure what goes there, don't worry about it. We do audit that and update. To back up a little bit, if you've done all this payee research and you found your payee, but the address is not correct, maybe it's an address from last year, you as a student cannot change a payee's address in the system. BOSO is the only one that can change the address. So what we request you do is to pick that existing payee, and in this note section, just put a note, please change address and give us the correct address. We will update it in the system and we will make sure we have the correct address for that individual vendor, company, whoever it is. So once you have this in, so we're going to pay registration. We don't have any notes. This note section as well as if there's anything you need BOSO to know in regards to the payment request, this is where you want to put it. Say somebody purchased a bunch of items, but you're only reimbursing for partial, let us know that. So when we're looking at that receipt, when you see they spent $100, but you're only paying them $25, we need to know why. So any information you want to give BOSO is in this notes section. So once you have that, you're going to go down to activity name. If it's not a specific activity, you just purchase office supplies, that's fine. But say it was the call out, put that in there. The more information you give us, the less likely you are to maybe receive the payment request back, us questioning what was going on. If you have a specific event date, give us that. If you don't, if it was just something, again, office supplies, use that day's date. Your expense codes, pick the closest you can. Again, we audit that. So we will go through and make sure we have the correct expense code. And we did this as registrations. And then over here, Your transaction amount is obviously how much we're reimbursing that individual. This organization note box, whatever you put in there, we see like the first 2 words, that's it. So if there's anything you want us to know, again, put it up here, not this one down here. This is an internal box. This is something for you and your organization. You all can see it. It's not something that comes through on our side. So once you have all the information in there, you're going to go to continue. So you have all your information. You're going to go out here to your unattached documents because you've scanned in all those documents you needed, the receipt, that information. So you're going to go out here, and I did not do that before we had that. So we're going to pretend there's a document out here. You'll have your list of any documents you have scanned in and saved to this drive. You'll just click on the one you want, hit save, and it's going to come back and automatically attach to this payment request. Once you have everything in, you're going to click save. And this will basically, it's going to send this request to BOSO for us to review the payment request. President, treasurer, and advisor cannot pay themselves. You can create the payment. If you've spent money as treasurer, you can create your payment request to yourself, but you do have to have a second approval on that request. So once you put your payment request out there, your other officers are going to receive notification. So say Freckles, well, that's not a good. Okay, Skylar was the treasurer. Skylar put their payment in. Well, now I have to go out there and approve it. So you're going to click on this red check mark, and you can review the documents. You can review everything on it. And then you, as the second approval, will approve it, reject it, or cancel. If you reject it, you're sending it back to the original person that put it in. And there will be a note section where you can say, you know, we didn't agree on this expense. And it will go back to the creator. The only person that can change a payment request is the individual that put it in. And that you do that with this edit record. So if you, once you get it out there and you say, oh wait, we weren't supposed to pay him that whole amount, you can edit this until it gets, once it gets to the approved part, you won't have the option to edit it. The main things you need to remember is the itemized paid receipt. BOSO will not reimburse for most expenses unless you have that activity form. Office supplies are like one of the exceptions, but you must have that activity planning form in place for us to approve any kind of expenses. That is basically it. Trying to think if there's any main things that I have not covered. There is a bunch of tabs up here for you to review. This is just your deposits that has happened to your account. If you've done any internal transfers. So if you just go out here and look through your tabs, it is just basically what your activity has been. Let me go back to get your account statement. If you click on your account that you're working with, and you go to banking, and the system does take a minute. This generate account statement, if you click on it, you can go back and you can pick beginning date and end date, however far back you want to go. This system goes back to July of 2008. So you can go back that far, but let me warn you, the farther back you go, the longer it does take to pull the information up. But you can pull up that information and it'll show you all your deposits, all your checks, all your debits, all your credits, so you can completely review all activity on your account. That is the overview of the payment requests. So all this information is out on the BOSO website. If you have any additional questions, you can always contact our office. You can email boso@purdue.edu, or our phone number is 765-494-6724. We always have somebody in the office. Any clerical staff can answer your questions. And I appreciate your time. Thank you.